Hello and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week. It chooses the horror movie and they discuss it. Today we're talking about 2020's I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which was directed by Charlie Kaufman. I'm your co-host Alec.
I'm Eric.
And Erik.
Alec.
This is good to have you back. No, seriously, this is the first time just you and me.
We're in the rhythm.
Yeah, 2022. We're back. It's a new year.
Back in the nest of the Wheel of Horror.
Exactly. It's been a pretty awful 2 years, so...
Yeah, what else are we going to do?
Yeah. Maybe 2022 will be better, hopefully.
Yeah.
So this movie you had chosen because you had... Yeah, you tell it. Yeah, how'd you...
Yeah, so real quick, my neighbor, he's like 20 years old, and he came over to watch a football game a couple months ago in October, and I mentioned the podcast and how we like doing like all these different types of movies, like variety, and I told him about like Midsummer and how I really love that one, Hereditary. He seemed like he's seen everything, and he's like, I really think you'd like this movie. I'm Thinking of Ending Things. It's not really horror, but it's like a psychological thriller. So give it a shot. If you look on Wikipedia, though, we just type this into Google, it says horror thriller.
Yeah.
So like that's why I was like, and never second guessed me. Like, did you find this to be a horror film?
Well, first off, I just want to say I'm glad the youth is recommending things.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
I didn't think this was scary. It reminded me a lot of Let's Scare Jessica to Death.
Yeah.
Like it was just uneasy. You didn't really know what was real or not. There was only one part that actually kind of like scared me. I'll tell you about that later. But for the most part, no, I didn't think it was like scary. I just thought it was like a mind fuck, basically.
Yeah, it's a mind bender for sure. And I wouldn't say it's horror. It's like a haunting thing that just lingers with you. Whereas Hereditary is like, that's horror, haunting, and it lingers. This is more like haunting and just lingers with you. Like it makes you think about like, ugh.
I know you always like this word. It made me feel uneasy.
Uneasy as hell, man. All holy hell. Yeah.
All right. So definitely. your neighbor's the one that recommended this. Had you ever heard of this before or no?
No. All I knew is it was from 2020 and it was on Netflix and it had off-brand Matt Damon.
I love him, dude.
That poor guy's like, I know, I kind of look like Matt Damon, but not. Like, I know.
Here's the thing, like Jesse Plemons, I think he's awesome. The first time I ever saw him, I think was in Breaking Bad.
That's the first time I saw him. Yeah.
Yeah, but then he's in like The Master, which I loved him in that. I thought he was so good. He's in the Fargo show. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Never watched Fargo.
Great show. And that's where he met his wife, Kirsten Dunst.
Eric. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, we all remember her. But anyway, so he was in the Breaking Bad movie too. He did a great job in that. So I love him, but you're right. He does kind of look like...
Well, in Breaking Bad, it's like this guy looks like Matt Damon. Like they made him look like Matt Damon in Breaking Bad. He was a little younger too. This, he like kind of lost that. I didn't see as much Matt Damon in it.
No, definitely not. I'm starting to see him as his own person now, which is but
yeah, like
he's young though, dude. He's only 33.
Could you imagine he's listening like, fuck these guys? Like...
No, I love, dude. All right. So I'm saying he's an amazing actor. I love everything that he's doing, but he happens to look a little bit like Matt Damon, like that.
Yeah, like I heard that before.
Yeah, I'm sure. He's only 33, dude. I was like, wow, he's pretty young. I thought he was a little older than that, but
it's crazy.
Anyways, so did you like it? What'd you think?
Okay. I don't think I'd watch it again. It made me feel uneasy. But in like a Midsummer Hereditary sort of way, I did like it though. It made me really think.
But you'd watch Hereditary and Midsummer again?
I'd probably, out of all those three, and including this one, I'd probably watch Midsummer again. I don't think I'd watch Hereditary ever again, or this one.
Oh man, dude, I love Hereditary. This one though, I mean, the only really thing in common with Hereditary is like, I guess Toni Collette, and then also just like, I guess like a creepy house.
Yeah.
Toni Collette though, dude, again, everything she does, she's so good.
She's really good. She's really good, man.
Good God, dude.
There wasn't enough of her in this, I don't think. I think I wanted like more like basement scenes and stuff. You know what I mean?
If she doesn't win an Oscar in her lifetime, like I don't know.
That's yeah. What the hell is going on?
I don't know if she has, but anyways.
Yeah. So overall, I'm just gonna say this. Like anyone who's seen this movie is probably listening. What's your overall take on this? Because I did some research online, like just like reading people's theories and stuff. But like, what is your take on this?
I mean, I haven't read anything about anything, but just like the takeaway I took from it. Also, I watched this on a plane 4 a.m, so it's probably not the best viewing experience. But what I took from it is it's like an allegory for like relationships that have gone on past their expiration date. I mean, they kind of say it in the movie. I don't know. I don't know. Actually, why? What do you think? What did you gather?
Well, I don't think that's really it. I think it's I mean, there's this janitor, right? And he's about I'd say like 80 years old, and the movie starts with the girlfriend saying, "I'm thinking of ending things." And
Hmm.
then at the end of the movie, we realize, oh, it's not about the girlfriend ending a relationship. It's about this janitor ending his life. And we're watching his mind play out between Jake and I forgot the girl's name at the top of my head.
Uh,
Do you remember her name?
yeah, let's look it up. Let's make sure we get these names. Jake and Jesse.
Jesse.
Well, yeah, you know what? They don't really give her a name though. It changes throughout the
Oh,
movie.
right, right. So, yeah, I'll get into that.
Yeah,
That's funny. You can keep that, but, because I don't remember her name because it changes and her job
yeah,
changes.
yeah.
So, we're watching the mind of this janitor, and I'm not sure if it's like a dementia mind, but it's like, is he Jake? Is he picturing himself just fantasizing? Is that we're watching his fantasizing hope? When, like I don't wanna talk get too much into suicide, but, like, if you're thinking of ending things, you hold out because there's hope things will get better, and we're watching his hope, play out, and it's just not working out, and it sounds like he's mad at his mistakes in his past life and his wrong turns, he says, like driving wrong turns. He's so lonely and broken that his mind is creating the story we're watching, and it's like an encore to his last hope, and it's like it's sad, dude. It's really sad because this janitor clearly went to high school at this high school, lived in this town. He watched his family die in that same house. He's lived in that same house. He's lonely as all hell. And I've read online that he starts talking about how he had a chance, or like the book, there's a book too, where he had a chance to get this girl's number. And that's who the girl is who keeps changing names. And he's fantasizing that for the rest of his life, what could have been if he asked for this girl's number. And it's like, oh, just the saddest thing. It's the saddest thing to watch, really.
Damn, dude, you literally sorry, you just, like, blew my mind. It's all clicking now. Like, now, like, all the pieces of the movie, you saying that, I'm like, "Oh my
Well,
god."
let's go to like the beginning part, like when they're in the car together and he's listing off all these different musicals. Remember, he's like Oklahoma, Wicked, remember that
Yeah.
scene?
Yeah, yeah.
That's because he's the janitor,
Right, and he
and the
watched
janitor's seen so many
musicals, right.
years of musicals coming
Yeah.
through.
We see that scene
And
of
it's like,
him, like, looking at the people, like, dancing and yeah, man. Yeah, this all
yeah.
makes way more sense now. It's almost like Jessie or, she changes to
We'll say
Louisa
Jesse.
Louie
We'll say, yeah,
yeah.
Louisa.
So
Yeah,
Jesse, yeah, let's say that. So Jesse is almost like his subconscious
it's
pointing
him.
out yeah, but it's pointing out the weird things about him, like the little thing on his lip. Like he's probably been self-conscious about that and he's projecting his self-consciousness onto her. And it's like everything, like why are those scratches on the door? He thinks that's weird, so he projects it into her to question the weirdness of things of his house. Like, dude, that makes so much more sense now.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
It
And
is.
he's held on to things too his whole life,
Fuck, dude.
including the pig with maggots that makes its ending at the end with him and like kind of follows him. His mind is just not gone, but ending. He's ending it.
He's not in the present at all. He's, like, thinking about the past the entire time. He's, like, mopping floors. He's just thinking about dude, holy shit, this movie just got so much better in my mind now because 'cause I'm like, it
Yeah.
makes more sense like that.
Yeah, and also there's the creep aspect to it. Like I don't know if this janitor was truly a creep. It sounds like he was. I don't know his mistakes in his past that he made.
Yeah.
But there's the scene where he's the janitor in a high school and he sees that girl with the not burns on her arms, but all the clothing on, and then he goes to the ice cream, and then we see that trash can. He's been going creeping on this girl that went to the high school as the janitor, buying an ice cream that he can't even eat because he can't handle the sweetness of it, and he tosses it, and he just like not like hits on her, but just like he's so lonely. He's so lonely, and it's just the saddest thing.
Ugh, yeah.
Yeah, but like and at the end of the movie too, with like the Oklahoma encore, where he like accepts a Nobel Prize because he was a scientist or going to be one. I guess the book says he had a mental breakdown after his mom died, and that's what caused him to like give up on his like science research and stuff, and he became a janitor in his hometown and a high school too. It's like, oh man, that must be like imagine being in a high school like in our like a janitor in our hometown high school. Like that's not something I'd want to do. I'd want to go to a different town at least, you know?
Well, yeah, but I mean, Jesus,
you're
dude.
you're watching the youth come by, like, everyone's so hopeful, like, thinking of their future, and, like, you're just stuck in your hometown in the same high school you went to. It's like, dude, at least go to an elementary school where, like, the kids give you purpose or, like, move to a different town, like, go be a janitor at a different
Well,
town.
he does say that, it might be one of those schools where it starts from elementary and goes all the way to 12th grade, he's like, "Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of towns that kinda filtered into this one school," so also, dude,
Yeah,
we're from Avon, which is, like, there's stuff to do.
suburbs,
It's
there's
yeah,
yeah,
this looks like middle of nowhere upstate New
there's an
York.
ice cream place, and that looks like about it.
Yeah, like, that looks very rural compared to Avon, but, imagine that though, dude, like, you're because it looks like he was taking care of his mom, like, she got sick, and he was, like, nursing her or whatever, and his dad has dementia, so it's like, he probably is like, "I just gotta get whatever job I can get," and it might have been the only job in town. Like, it could have been. He can't go far, you know?
Well, probably I think he had, like, a mental episode
That too,
where
that too.
he lost a lot of his social things, but I think he keeps holds on to this one chance with Louisa or whatever
Yeah.
back in the day. At least the book goes into that more where he had a chance to date this woman, and I think his mind just keeps going back to, like, imagine if I got her number, like, where I could be right now, I'd be winning the Nobel Prize and
Right.
thanking all my colleagues, and
Okay,
it's
so this
like,
is a book. This was a book too, I forgot
yes,
about that.
yes, it's a
Okay.
book.
Yeah, so the book came out in 2016. Damn, okay, so I bet the book really maybe makes it a little bit easier to understand it, but you saying this really does clear it up because it is confusing. It really is.
It's so confusing, and the conversations they have in the car, at dinner,
I love those conversations.
they're great, but, like, if you watch it knowing that it's an old man thinking of his life ending, it's brutal. Every second, when the girl says, "I'm thinking of," he says, "No, no, 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 we're still hoping, like, we're not ending things,
Dude,
we're
how can you
hoping."
say you don't wanna watch this again now?
I don't know, man, it's just
What?
it's sad, it's sad.
I mean, it is. Dude, I was, like, tearing up on the plane. I didn't even understand. I'm like,
Oh my god.
now I, like, understand it more. I'm sure, yeah, it'll kill me when I watch it. Well,
Oh,
now
it's
dude,
brutal,
the
man.
ending is so much sadder now because it's just his truck now. That other car isn't there, and did he just go out in the car and die in the car?
I think he, either died in the snow or in the car.
I think he dies in the car because he says what's her name? As Jessie, he says, like, "Hypothermia wouldn't be the worst way to go." Remember that?
Yeah, yeah, he says that, but also he's following the pig into the high school, and that's kind of the last shot we see of him.
Right, and
So
he's
it's like, okay,
naked,
so he's
yeah.
naked, he goes inside the high school, and I mean, who's ever seeing any security footage is like, "Oh, man, this poor janitor had, like,
Ugh.
a mental breakdown," and it's very sad, but let's say he ends in the car. Now, if you watched did you watch the entire credits?
Yeah.
Like, did you hear what was in the background?
Yeah. It was like it sounded like a truck pulling up at the end.
Like a snowplow.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
that gives, like, me watching it, I'm like, "Is there a chance he could still be alive in the car?"
Yeah, there
And
is.
so it's like and, like, could the snowplow guy find him? It's just like it's like a glimmer of hope, like Luke Skywalker firing the last missile at the Death Star, like 1 inch of hope without the Force,
Well,
but
that
yeah.
makes sense, though, that's, like, the whole movie is that. It's always, like, burying your head in the sand thinking it'll get better sort of thing, and that's kinda what this is like, "I'm gonna kill myself, but maybe there always is that last tiny little bit of hope." Yeah, you're right, dude.
He has nothing.
Dude, they
He
say
has
that line,
nothing.
though, in the movie, it's like humans create hope. It's like animals live in the present, and humans can't, so they create hope. You're right, man, he is a janitor, but he's so smart. Imagine being a genius, and they even say that, like, genus, genius, all that. You're a genius in this.
Yeah, yeah, he's playing the it's Genius Mom, not Genius
But
Edition.
he is a genius, and he's,
Yeah,
like, trapped in his own
he's
mind,
trapped,
and his
yeah.
body is just doing, like, just basic work just over and over and over again, but his brain is that of a genius. Oh, man, this movie's awesome now. I
Yeah,
I just
it's,
haven't had time to, like, process it, man, Like
yeah, I'll be completely honest, like, I'm about a quarter of the way into watching, and you probably couldn't have done this because you were in a plane, but I was like, "What the hell is going on?" So, like, I went into Google and I just, like and this is not what I often do watching film, but I just, like, wanted to know, like, what's the basic plot,
mhm,
and an article came up about, like, basic theories, so I just, like, briefly, like, read, like, Jake, Louisa, and the janitor are all the same, and is it
right.
young Jake? And that's why at the ending, we don't see the old man accepting the award, we see Jake accepting the award because it's still his image of him. Yeah, it's a lot to unpack, and it's so sad. It's like, I think about it in, like, a way, like, my life, and just like where I would be without my wife, like how lonely I would be with, let's say like I lived alone, let's say I lived in our hometown. And it made me think about like, oh man, how sad is that? This poor guy. I just like I put myself in his shoes, I guess. And
Yeah,
like imagine I had nothing. And it's just like,
I
and there's so
know.
many people like that. And it's sad as well to think about.
I
So
mean, there definitely
I guess
are.
that's why I don't want to watch it again because it just made me really sad.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, there's probably so many people out there like this who like wake up, just turn on that TV, watch cartoons at a kitchen table, and then go to their job and then come home and they don't talk to anybody. Like, yeah, dude, that's
Well, it's fantasizing too. Like imagine like you think about like what if I went to a different college? What if I hit the lottery when I was 18? What if I like won the Powerball when I was 18? Like you fantasize. But we have all these great things too in our life. It's like, yeah, we'll still fantasize about doing like amazing stuff and whatnot. And like,
yeah.
but he's fantasizing it with nothing. And that's the difference.
But these aren't even good fantasies though. Like that's the thing. Like this is him almost like replaying things in his mind or like fake conversations that he's having with himself because if you're fantasizing about something, you'd imagine him being in like, some
Yeah.
tropical island with, this woman and they're enjoying themselves. Like this is not a
Well, I imagine this old janitor has been doing this fantasy every day, like in his mind. Goes home and just thinks about this every day and like replays it for like 50 years.
yeah.
And he's just his hope is dwindling and he's at his last hope. He's like he's this is like his last time replaying it.
Right. So do you think it's been degrading over time? Like it started
Yes.
off nicer and then as time goes on, he keeps replaying the fantasy and it just keeps getting like now this is a shitty fantasy. This is like a nightmare.
Yeah, it's like it almost ends at a certain point, but we're watching like the last ending of it. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
it's
No, that makes
very
sense. Dude, I have to rewatch this now. Like I have
I
to.
don't know. I don't know.
Oh, I think after watching it once and this explanation, like I would look at it completely different, you know?
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I just want to say, Eric, you can add another thing to your Pride of Connecticut list.
Whoa, what do we got? I don't even
Dude,
know.
so do you know who directed this?
Kaufman. He's
Yeah,
Connecticut?
he's well, all right, so I'll tell you. So
Aw,
I don't know,
you
maybe you can put an asterisk next to it, but so he was born in New York City and
doesn't count, bro.
okay,
Doesn't count.
hold on. He grew up in at Massapequa, New York before moving to West Hartford, Connecticut, where he graduated from high school. Look at that.
Alright, so he's went West Hartford boy?
I graduated from high school there, so I don't know if you count
Okay.
that, but hey.
I'll give him stomping grounds credit, but what's the sound bite you use, Jeremy Renner from, The
You
Town?
grew up right here. You grew up right
You grew
here.
up right Yeah, he didn't grow up right here. He that's his stomping grounds,
Okay.
though. Bridgeport and Fairfield from when I went to college. Like, I went to college there, so I know, like, a lot of locations. West Hartford's his stomping grounds. He doesn't get the Pride of Connecticut badge, though.
Okay, anyways,
I'm
I thought that
sorry.
was cool that I mean, West Hartford's like our neighboring hometown, so I thought that was kinda
He
cool.
doesn't get the Pride of Connecticut badge. I'm
Alright,
sorry.
alright.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
anyways, have you ever seen any of his other movies, dude?
I saw, like, Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind with, it's Kate Winslet too and Jim Carrey, right?
Yeah, yep.
I
Mhm.
saw that, like, at least 15 years ago.
Did you ever see,
I
Being John Malkovich?
I never saw that, no.
Ooh,
I've heard that's intense.
that'll mess you up. You're just like, "What is this movie?" But it's so dude, those 2 movies are amazing, and they're so
Yeah.
in line with this kinda movie. Like, this movie when I looked it up, I was like, "Of course he did this." And then, I love how he also worked with Kirsten Dunst in Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind,
Right, right,
and
yep, she's in
now
it.
now
Oh,
he's
and
working with her husband.
Jesse.
But anyways, I just thought that was cool, like, his kinda writing I haven't seen his most recent film, which it was like it almost it's not Team America, it's my but it's like dolls, like, they're like stop motion animation dolls, and, I think it got nominated for, an Oscar, I think.
Huh.
I'm a Lisa, I think it's called?
Yeah, yeah, I saw that. That's recent. That's from, like, 3 years ago, right?
2015, dude.
Oh,
It
wow.
doesn't feel that old, but yeah. But anyway, so his writing, dude, and directing is so, like, working on so many levels that I like it. I like it. Some of the conversations were a little above my head, but I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, this I'm not saying this lightly, like, this is an amazing movie. I'm not saying I didn't like it,
Yeah.
but it's just it's hard to watch and think about those dark topics, you
Yeah,
know?
and maybe I don't know if people would pick up on that the first time. They'd probably would take it at surface level like I did, where I was just like, "Oh, it's just like an uncomfortable conversations about
Yeah.
this relationship is like it's like hard to watch. Like it's so
Well,
cringeworthy."
it's literally him talking to like his envisionment of like a girlfriend where he's
Right.
like, "This is a girlfriend and she talks like me and she's socially awkward like me." And it's
Right.
like it's hard to watch 2 socially awkward people go back and forth, I guess.
Well, it felt like they were trying to one up each other with their knowledge of stuff, and it was like eh, it was like they were in competition in a relationship, you know? So, but, when you're first watching this, because it starts off, she's in a car she's in a town, it starts snowing, she gets in the car, and then it starts to just get awkward and the conversations get awkward. You would never start thinking, "Oh, this is all in his mind, a janitor." So the first couple minutes you're watching it, you're just like, "Ugh, this is just a cringeworthy conversation."
Yeah. And the dinner scene was pretty hard to watch too with the parents.
Oh my
That
god.
kept changing, like, it kept getting more inconsistent, like, they're young, they're old, there's a bandage on his head, there's a bandage on his toe, like, switching around, switching names, changing, "I'm a painter, I'm a poet, I'm a physicist, I'm every like, it's what are you?" So it's just like him replaying this story in his mind and just changing it. He's like, "No, no, 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 she's not she's a physicist, she's not this," and it's just like, oh, like, it's so sad.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing, the acting in this movie was just fantastic all around, like,
Oh, yeah.
everybody was so good, and that's what reminded me of Hereditary is, like, the dinner table scene where I'm just like, "I believe everything about this."
When a film makes you feel uncomfortable, it's done a good job,
Oh my
you know?
god, but the part that actually scared me, which I was like, "Alright, I don't know what's going on." Right when they get to the house and then you see Toni Collette in the window and she's just waving like crazy person, and I'm like, "Alright, I don't know what's going on," but for some reason, the fact that I can't really make out her face, but it's like I can kinda see a smile and this, like, weird waving, it was making me very uncomfortable, just the way it was shot.
Very kinda dream sequency, but not, and
Yeah,
yeah.
that got me really good. Did any part scare you specifically?
Made me uncomfortable more than anything is the dog
Oh,
just shaking
yeah.
for a while, and I'm just like, "Why is this happening?" Like, it feels like my brain was rotting with him, you
Oh,
know?
dude, yeah, the dog was shaking, but it, like, wouldn't stop, so it just it was, like, on repeat on a loop, so it, like oh, yeah, dude, that was super
It makes you think of his mind, and it's just like, his mind's just so not good.
dude, you know what got me too was kinda like that was, when Toni Collette's, like, a younger version of herself, and she's walking away from the basement, but you, like the steps don't stop. Did you notice that?
Yeah, yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
that messed me up so bad. I was just 'cause, like, you're expecting the steps to, like, go away or whatever, but they just keep going, and you're like, "I've never thought of something like that where, like, your brain just kind of would, like, brush it off, but this is just a continuous loop of something." Yeah, that freaked me out too for some reason.
yeah. I don't know, not a ton of stuff freaked me out, but it just lingers. The dog shaking's gonna stick with me for a couple years probably, and I'll try to forget about it. But, yeah, like, for, like, an unnecessary amount of time, like, why? Ugh.
Another thing that is not just has nothing to do with anything, but it made me think, I was like, how bad do ice cream places do in the winter in a lot of places, you
It's
know?
funny you dude, oh my god. Bro,
What?
my neighbor works at Dairy Queen, the guy who recommended this. I didn't even put that together until now. He's
Oh,
down the street in Stratford at Dairy Queen. Yeah, and he says, like, people get ice cream all the time. I asked him that too
oh,
because
yeah.
he brought over Blizzard for us one time. He's like, "I got you Blizzards." Like,
Dairy Queen also has, like, burgers and fries, and they have other
true.
stuff. Like, this place looked like it's straight up just ice cream. Like J.
Yeah.
Foster's. Like, imagine J. Foster's and Avon, like.
Well, it's one thing to get ice cream too, like, sometimes it hits, like, 50 in Connecticut, like that, okay, get ice cream, but, like, it's a blizzard in this movie. Like who's getting ice cream during a blizzard and the roads are terrible? I don't
Yeah.
know.
I love there's 3 people working too. It's like, "Guys, we probably just need 1 person to close it up." But just imagine, like, in the middle of upstate New York, there's, like, a Tasty Freeze or whatever, and, like, they must make no money in the winter. Like
I think people, I mean, obviously summer is their best season,
yeah,
but,
yeah.
I think the winter they do just fine. I think people just want ice cream.
I do. I mean, when I was back in Connecticut, for the past couple weeks, I was just like, "Fuck it, I'm going to J. Foster's."
I'm gonna go to Dairy Queen today. I don't know, I'm gonna go there and be like, "Hey, I watched that movie you recommended." I didn't even tell him yet I watched it, so I'm very
Oh.
excited to tell him.
Oh, we shoulda had him as a guest.
We should've,
Yeah, what the heck?
I should've asked them, I should've asked them.
Talk to him
But
again, ask him
yeah.
we need the youth, we need the youth, we're old men now.
We had Hunter on one time, so
That's true.
he's 21 or so.
He's probably the youngest person we've had on here. Oh, yeah, dude, did you notice, Brie Larson is in this?
Is she one of the ice cream people, I'm guessing?
No, I think she was, remember at the end when there's, like they're doing that little dancing in the hallway, and it's like, "Who are these people?" And they're kind of like the Hollywood versions of Jesse Plemons and, Jessie Buckley. Did you notice when they were dancing
Oh,
towards the
they're
end?
dancing in the hallway? Or
Yeah, so it was like I think that was her, right?
I have no idea. Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, towards the end, they're dancing in the hallway, but it's, like, not it looks like them, but it's, like, not them, and I'm
Oh,
pretty sure that was, I think that was her. Who the
that's wild. That's such a small small role, but cool that she got in she wanted to get involved in it.
Yeah, she's in this movie, though, so I don't know, I thought that was her, Jesus, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, God, I'm really thinking back even on that conversation with the "Baby, It's Cold Outside" stuff.
Well, it's an old conversation too, and it's like he's trying to be, like, hip with the youth again and be like, "Oh, it's an old song," like
Well, it's like no, I think he was like it's just so interesting now thinking about it, like, he's having this conversation with himself. So what's his angle with himself?
well, he's trying to think about getting with the times too, I feel like. He's surrounded by youth, like, high schoolers that are probably like, "This song's wrong." Like, you know
Right.
what I mean? So he's probably, like, combating with his way of thinking as well.
Yeah, because like, the Jesse Plemons character is trying to be like, "Well, it's an old song, blah, blah, blah," and then the young person, you're right, he's probably hearing that at the school, and he's like, "Oh, I am thinking about this differently now," and he's, like, defending his way he grew up versus what he's hearing now, so it was just like, ugh.
That's what, like, concerns me about getting old. Like, it's so scary to think about, and I think this movie does a good job, like, it makes me wanna be a better person, you know? Like, it makes me, like, want to avoid be putting myself in this poor old man's position. Like, that's how I felt watching this, like, in a selfish way, like, I don't wanna be like this guy, like
I know.
but
Well,
it can't happen to anybody, I
that's what I'm
feel like.
saying. It doesn't seem like this was a choice. Like,
Yeah,
his
yeah.
parents got sick and then he had a mental breakdown. It's like, obviously nobody wants that, but yeah, that could just happen. And it made me feel like Let's Scare Jessica to Death, where you're just like, this could just happen. You could just start hearing
Well, you could just
voices.
have a kid that's you can treat him well, you can raise him right, but he just can go off and do terrible, unspeakable things, even though they kinda had an idea. The mom did, at least.
No, 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 no. I'm saying Let's Scare Jessica to Death. I think you're
Oh, what am I
thinking
thinking?
of
I was thinking of, what was I thinking of? Let's Talk About Kevin.
yeah, let's talk about Kevin. No, no, no. I'm thinking like what Let's Scare Jessica to Death,
Oh,
where
yeah, jeez.
she just keeps hearing these voices in her head, and you're like, this could just happen one day.
Like, yeah,
Ugh.
scary.
Anyways, if you were gonna give this movie, how many Keanus would you give this movie
Out
out?
of 5, I give
Yeah.
it a strong 4.1. I
Whoa.
think it deserves it too.
Why the point one? You're like Dolby Digital 5.1 surround sound. It's like, what's that point one? What's that
That's the
point one?
difference between, like, good scores and rookie scores, you gotta give the decimal. Just let people know, like, really what you're considering.
Alright, alright. Yeah, I was gonna give it a 4. I liked it a lot.
It's a rookie score. That's a rookie
That's a
score.
rookie score, okay. How about this? 4.023.
Alright, so I'll still give it a higher score than you. I'll
Yeah,
take it.
yeah, but
Okay, I love that's a hell of a score. Wow, we're bringing in the
yeah, I'm giving this a real score.
that's a hell of a Keanu score.
But yeah, anyways, I think if you like Charlie Kaufman movies, you like kind of mind-bending, screwy movies that make you think on all these different levels. I think this has great rewatch value now that we've talked about it, though.
Yeah, I'll just
I
I
know, yeah.
hate that I'm saying it, but, like, I don't want maybe a year from now, I'll rewatch it. It's not the movie you wanna watch, like, back to back.
No, 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 no. Yeah, but I feel the same way about Up. I'm like, I don't think I can handle this, so I just like I don't watch it.
You just no, you just skip the first scene.
Yeah,
You just hit the skip scene, the first scene, you're good.
yeah, it's true, it's true. All right, well, what do you say? It's been the wheel, Eddie.
Alright, let's spin the wheel. Alright, ready? Spinning. Dawn of the Dead from 2004.
Ooh, I don't know if we have a guest for that one. I'll have to look at it, but nice.
No, that one's a fun one.
That is a good one. I like that remake actually. Cool. Eric, welcome back. Happy 2022.
Thank you. Happy 2022.
Thank you everybody for listening in. If you haven't had a chance, we just had our episode with Book of Boba Fett and our Fresh Film Fridays with The Green Knight, so you can check those out if you haven't listened already. And we will see you guys all next week with Dawn of the Dead.
Woo!